Promotions. Well, see, I was looking at the wrong camera again. They caught me. Welcome to the show, folks. Okay, so you can tell real quick that we're missing the rose among the thorns. Cindy took the night off tonight. And so we looked and we got a great guest that we were going to invite in, but they couldn't make it. So we got the youth pastor to come in. Alex to be here. No, I thought, well, who do we need to have up here? And Alex was willing to come and sit with us. A lot to talk about tonight. So let's welcome all of these youngsters to the set.
The youngsters, does that make you feel good saying that?
I feel old.
Does that make you
I appreciate
feel good that
yes,
he called
that
you a
makes me
youngster?
feel
I was
great.
watching the other night on the youth, and you were doing the how old are you?
Yeah.
And people were guessing, and many guessed 70.
70.
Yeah, I think we saw triple digits.
Triple
on one.
digit, yeah.
Well, you
That way.
should. Well, excited for tonight. Let us know where you're watching from on the comments. I know some of y'all, I can see that the ladies are not real happy right now that mom's gone.
Well, I'm not either. Let me just tell you that right now.
But yeah, right in the comments, let us know where you're watching from. I can see people are logging on right now.
Call somebody up, text somebody, let them know. Hey, Pastor Rudy tonight. That's one of the. He just gets. Every week I say, boy, that was the best message. And then I hear the next week I say, no, that's the best message. And then I hear the next, no, that's the best message. That was so good. Walking from Moses to Peter getting out of the boat, and again, just engaging, getting involved, stepping up. It really was a good message. And here's the beauty of these is that you can go back and watch them. So if you missed it, you can go back and watch it. And I encourage you that, or you can share it with somebody. So do that. So again, let us know where you're watching from. Of course, we have the Chicago fan base that is there. That's Alex's family. For those of you that are
Michael
not
Jordan's
aware.
watching tonight.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And so welcome to all of our great friends in Chicago and family members that way. And there's people in their house that are watching. So Carruthers
is in the house.
Fowler is watching in that way. Let me talk a little bit, and we got some stuff we're going to get into tonight. But obviously, the question that everybody's been asking is about the opening. And I'm not going to go into everything that I went into last week about it, but just to kind of give you an update. Yes, we are planning on opening church on the 31st to live services, in-person services. Now, these are not going to be like what we had before when we closed. In other words, the place is not going to be packed to capacity and all of that. We are going to do this safely, social distancing, all the CDC guidelines. I'm working with a group of pastors that are in touch with the governor's office. We're back and forth with guidelines. I've been talking with county supervisors, been talking with members of the mayor's team for reopening. So we're not being rogue and going out there, just being the rebel and doing that. So I want you to know that. Matter of fact, we are going to be hosting a Zoom call on Thursday night for members here of Cornerstone and for those who call Cornerstone their church home. And we've sent out the invitation. Sent them out today, didn't we?
Yes.
Sent out the invitations today, but perhaps we didn't have your email address or you didn't get that, and you want to be sure that you get it. That's going to be a very frank discussion. I'm going to give you some real details on Thursday night of kind of where we're at and how we're doing this. This is evolving every day. It's very fluid. Matter of fact, again, just before I got on the program tonight, didn't get a chance to carry out the conversation, but I had a county supervisor say, "What can we do to help? How can we help?" So I want you to understand we're doing this in the proper way. So if you'd like to, and you haven't got an invitation yet, you'd like to have an invitation to that Zoom call on Thursday night, we just need your email address, need to know, how we can get in contact with you. Just email us at cornerstonefresno.com. That's cornerstonefresno.com, and just say, "I'd like an invitation to the Thursday night Zoom call." And Cindy and I are going to be sharing with you some information about our opening. So do that. If you haven't got the invitation, if you haven't, that means if you're part of the Cornerstone family here, that means for some reason we didn't have your email address. So send that to us. Cornerstone at cornerstonefresno.com. It is going to be an exciting time. You will not want to miss it. God gave me a message today. I've been really praying, God, what do I need to share on that first Sunday that we're back? And so God gave me a message, and I'm not going to tell it to you, but I really believe God's going to speak to us and encourage us and bring us hope in a time when desperately we need it. I'm looking forward to it. Alex, are you looking forward to the 31st?
Oh, I can't wait. My wife said she was going to do a backflip off the stage. So if you're out there, I can't wait to see that.
You were already just in there picking out seats where you were going to sit.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. And the surprise, I
Yes.
cannot wait for
So
it.
it is going to be a great time. I want you to make plans. But I would, again, as the week folds on, this Sunday we'll talk more about it. As we get closer, we'll give you some more specific details. Not that we're trying to hide it from you, but this is very fluid, and so we're working them out. Things are changing as we go, changing from the city's position to the county's position, to the state's position on what they'll allow us to do, and we're going to do it right. We're going to do it right. I know we scared some of y'all that when we said we're having church, and I've gotten a lot of input. Well, I don't want to get into that. I'll talk to you more about that Thursday night on the deal. So. I want Alex to come tonight because I want to give you a little insight. He's always so excited about the youth and always plugging the youth, and our youth ministry is just exploding. But I want you to kind of dial it down about 3 notches from your normal youth screaming, and look at that camera right over there.
The one on the left.
Yeah, the one on the left. And we're training him, folks. We're training him. But I do want to talk a little bit, because I know there's a lot of parents out there that are watching, a little bit about your burden as far as the youth and what you are seeing right now, especially during this situation where kids aren't in school and graduations that they've missed. And I know you and Megan have been in touch with the youth, but talk a little bit about what you're sensing from the youth, and talk to those parents out there just a little bit about how we can better help them, and also the importance of the youth ministry at this time.
Yeah. Pastor, yesterday we went out to the streets. So I went to check on some kids, and about 12 of them just attacked my car. And I had the privilege of going and knocking on the doors with some of the parents. And the parents were like, "Are you here to take the kids? Are you here to take the kids? Please, please take the kids." And they just said, "Thank you so much for all that we do. And thank you that we provide a place for them to go." But the kids are ready to come back to church. The parents are more than ready for the kids to come back to church. But there is a need right now, because parents, I just want to talk to you. All of structure is thrown out the window. All my kids are going to bed at 7 in the morning and waking up at 3 p.m. That is the new normal for their sleep structure. So they're just looking for accountability. They're looking to get plugged in. They're looking to get back in a routine. So we're excited for when the schools open up, if we can partner with them. Parents, if we can partner with you, we're trying to provide structure for your kids throughout the week as well.
Kind of walk through that, because when you described that, it really was. You've got something for them to do, to look forward to, and it's not just idle work. It really is engaging in their spiritual development.
Yeah. So what we do, Pastor, is we create every morning, we're in a devotional together. So we started with 10 a.m. Now we've kicked it to noon. So they have till noon to send us a video of what they got from the devotional, and then we post that. And then we have a daily theme, which they have till 2 p.m. to send in, and then we post that. But what we've seen is that the youth are taking ownership. They're saying, "This is my youth group. I have a responsibility. I have a responsibility to be a voice to the other youth that are out there." So we're seeing true leaders rise up. And every day, if you look at the social media, it's not me, it's not Megan, it's not the adult leaders, it's our youth.
And one of the things, because like I say you have a theme every what are those themes?
We have Move It Monday right now, so we're trying to get them to exercise. Some of them are getting a little swollen from the heat. and then
I've noticed that.
Yeah. Tuesday, today was Talent Tuesday, so we have some singing, we have some basketball shooting, then we do our Wednesday night live, and then we have Trivia Thursday where they ask different trivia questions. So we have fun with it, and then Friday Night Lights is my favorite.
Now that's one I wanted to get to because this is something new that you've begun, and now tell them about that.
Yeah, so we started a ministry called Friday Night Lights, and it's a student-led ministry where the student gives the word online. But God has given us so much vision for this, Pastor, because think about what Friday night really is. Friday night's a night where high school kids make very bad choices after a football game, where some are pregnant, drinking, all that goes on. So our vision for this is 11 p.m. Our students will all come together and they will preach the gospel.
Now you're talking about coming together online.
Online.
So when we talk about coming together, we're not talking about gathering together in a building. Because we're not a waffle shop, okay? We're not gathering together. When you say come together, you're talking about
we're on Instagram Live,
online,
and a lot of the leaders are on there too. No, we are not physically together. We're gathering online, and we've seen, I think, 12 salvations in the last 4 weeks, where students are preaching and their friends. Because what happens is when you go live with them, everybody on their friends can see that they went live. So we get these, stragglers, I like to call them. They'll click on and they'll see a youth preaching, and when that salvation call comes, they're getting saved.
Yeah.
And you're training them in evangelism and utilizing the tools of the day to do that.
Yes.
That is great. So parents out there, again, if you've got teenagers, if you've got youth, and they're not engaging with Cornerstone Youth, what should a parent tell their teen?
Yeah. Go to Instagram at @CYouthFresno. Follow us. Get connected. You can direct message us. Parents, send us an email at the church or go right on at @CYouthFresno on Instagram, and we would love to connect with them, and we will get their child connected. And then they have Zoom groups, which all the leaders are on here right now. I know Jimmy and Becky and some of the other leaders. So what we've done is we were praying, like, how do we do small groups in this context? And every night of the week, we have 7th and 8th grade boys, 7th, 8th grade girls, freshman, sophomore boys, freshman, sophomore girls, junior, senior, same way, co-ed or age and gender specific groups where they can meet in a smaller community and go over the scriptures we preach, or if they have a question, they can ask that question and be discipled in a more smaller, intimate, opposed to just YouTube Live.
And then, of course, Wednesday night, you have a great service right here on this stage. And, full worship. You got a great worship team, and then you preach the word. And it really is good. If you're not tuning in, if you're not getting your youth connected, then I encourage you to do that, connect with the youth. Now, let me switch to an area that you're highly engaged in and that you are from another aspect, and that is our Bible college here on campus, SUM, School of Urban Mission. And we've not closed down, have we?
No, not at all.
Matter of fact, this is what we were made for times like this.
It's so awesome to see how the things that we're involved and engaged in as a church, that God foresaw a lot of things, whether from our feeding ministry or from our youth ministry, started prepping things. Well, our college ministry, same thing. God plugged us in with SUM knowing that we'd be able to handle this time period. And so everybody, the way that SUM works, if you've heard or haven't heard yet, the way that SUM works is it's an online based classes. So it's out of Zoom. So everybody else is going to Zoom. SUM has been in Zoom for years now. So you're seeing the professor's seeing you, you're seeing all of your students, and so learning is still going on. Our chapels have moved to Zoom. It's amazing to see what's happening. And this week is really it's Spirit Week, right? That's what they're calling it. So if you go to SUM Fresno on Instagram, you'll see students from all over, whether it's what they're wearing or what they're producing out. But at the end of the week, it's all about campus days. And so campus days gives us an opportunity to show you as a potential student or somebody that just wants to check in on the school, what the school is like. So there's going to be 3 times on Friday if you're interested. 3 times on Friday. Those are at 8 a.m., 1 p.m., and 6:30 p.m. on Friday, that you can see what the school's all about. I know they've got special guest speakers that are speaking on that Zoom, but you have to register for that. I will say that. You have to register. And so if you want to register, if you're here watching, you're saying, man, I might want to be involved in that, then you need to email Cody. So Cody is our cohort advisor. You need to email Cody, and his email is crecheck@sum.com. So I'm going to have him put it in there because I know he's answering in the comments. crecheck@sum.edu, and he'll be able to respond to you. So Cody will put that in just a second. I'll make sure. If not, I'll put it in. But from your perspective, there he is. So from your perspective,
I want to back up a minute because I don't want to take for granted that people watching know what the school is about. So back them up to just square one. What do we teach at SUM? What is SUM?
So SUM is a training ground for ministers in the fivefold ministry. We believe that there's 5 offices of ministry, and so SUM really equips people for that. They do it through affordable education, which we all can have the conversation about how much debt so many people are in. Well, this is all based on affordable education, academic excellence. So we're not talking a certificate program. We're not talking a stamp on your hand. We're talking a fully accredited degree, a WASC accredited degree, which is the same degree that FPU and other universities would have, Fresno State would have. It's WASC accredited.
Now,
so
I want to back that up and tell you my reasoning as a pastor of why I'm engaged with it this way. There's a lot of great Bible programs and Bible teachers out there, and not discounting those, and certificate programs, not discounting those, but that's not what this is. This is a Bible college. This is a fully accredited Bible college. You can get your BA, you can go all the way up and get your master's with us here. And your credits will transfer to other schools in these areas. And so, and the affordability of it. Because a lot of people can't afford to go off somewhere to Bible college. I guarantee you can afford. If you can't afford this school, you really can't afford to be in school. And what I mean by that is that you really aren't committed to it. This is one of the most affordable schools. You can carry on, basically carry on a job and do this school if you really dedicate yourself, and you can come out of college debt-free. And financial aid is available, just like it would be at any other college, and grants. So I wanted to hit that because I didn't want you just to, well, it's just another one of those programs. No, fully accredited, been in operation for over 26 years, and it is growing. It is growing. So now talk a little bit more about it.
So there's 2 other pillars that we believe in, and that's personal mentorship. So I tell people this all the time. I'm only the man that I am today because of the man that sits next to me.
Yeah.
The time that I've spent with him has shaped me to be, because he has experience that I haven't had to live yet, but I've got to learn the lessons that he's lived and start applying them now. You will not be, and hear this as just a believer, you will not become all that God has called you to be if you do not have a spiritual father or a spiritual mother in your life outside of a pastor. So outside of the role of a pastor, you need somebody that can look you in the eyes and tell you, here's the direction to go, here's the direction not to go. And we can go down the list of times that he has told me, nope, that's not what you should do. And I listened sometimes, and I didn't listen all the time. And I've seen the fruit of either decision. You need somebody in your life.
Kids are idiots.
Your new book, Kids Are Idiots Until They Grow Up. Until they grow up. But the SUM is built on that pillar, personal mentorship. And how much would somebody investing in your life change your life? Maybe the thing that you need in your life, and I'm just going to say this to everybody, maybe the thing that you need in your life right now to get you from being stuck to unstuck is allowing somebody else in your life that's gone ahead of you, that's in the place that you want to be in your life, letting them into those inner circles of your life to pull you out. That's what SUM is about, personal mentorship. And then the other thing is practical ministry. Dad and I have talked about this before. He went to Bible college in Texas, Waxahachie, Texas.
Say that 3 times.
I know, say that 3 times. But he's got friends that went fully through the school, and I've got friends that have gone to schools locally that have gone through ministry school but never did any practical ministry.
And then they got out and got into ministry for a few months. I remember one guy called me and said, "This is not what I want to do." And he said, "Hey," I said, "You just spent tens of thousands of dollars," this was several years ago, tens of thousands of dollars, spent 4 years of your life training for something that you said because you had never had done it before. And like you say, so that's one thing we want to be sure that people have practical experience in ministry that will make them a better minister
100%.
When they get out. Not just something they learned in a book, but something that they've actually done in those areas of ministry. So that's what the campus days, we call them campus days, where you used to go to a campus and there, get the insight into everything that is happening. Well, we're going to do it online this time.
Yes, we are.
Virtually. And I encourage you, if you've ever thought of a call of God on your life, if you thought about Bible college in any way whatsoever, I don't care if you're just about to graduate from high school or if you're 70 years old and say, you know what, God's still got something left for me because he did that with Moses, then you need to at least take an hour out of your life and check this out and see if God won't speak to you about it. And so give us those times, and again, how can somebody connect for that?
So those times are 8 a.m., 1 p.m., and let me make sure I'm saying this to you correctly, 8 a.m., 1 p.m., and 6:30 p.m., but you need to register. So Cody's email is right there. He'll email it, add it right back in there because I see that he's commenting. Yeah. So email him tonight and let him get you registered for that campus days on Friday. But Alex is a student.
Well, then I was going to let you talk to the student here because, and why did you say suddenly I want to go to SUM?
Well, for one, I mean, you provided an opportunity for me to be able to go while I'm at work, so thank you for that, Pastor. Not everybody has that opportunity, but for two, God told me you can't lead where you've never been. So parents, if you're out there, I believe some of your kids are going to be the next pastors. Some of your kids are going to be evangelists, teachers, prophets, apostles. And we want to raise them up and train them. And I can't lead where I've never been, Pastor. So I have the privilege of being able to go first. But let me tell you, I have my eye on about 3 youth right now that are going to be trained up, equipped, and sent into the mission field. And they get to do it right here at the home where it's a safe place, because a lot of times you can get launched into ministry where you don't know anybody. So I couldn't be more thrilled. And like you said, Pastor, this is not just a little school. This is an accredited college. I will graduate with a bachelor's degree if I graduate.
You will. Yeah. You will. You will.
Yeah.
So again, I encourage you. I don't want to overlook this. I think that's one thing the church hasn't done a good job of in the last several years. When I was growing up, people were always talking about being called into the ministry. And I think we got sidelined into our occupations and got away from our calling. We believe in calling very much here at Cornerstone.
Yeah.
And I believe that there are many that have been called, but they have not stepped out of the boat. I'll borrow from Pastor Rudy's message tonight. They've been called, but they've stayed in the boat. And how much have they missed because of that? You have no idea what God wants to do in your life, but you're not going to know as long as you stay in the boat. I want to encourage you, step out. Take that. Some of you have felt that urge on the inside. You felt that calling on the inside. You said, that's really what I want to be involved in, but you've allowed fear, you've allowed your past, you've allowed so many things to keep you from stepping out of the boat. Do that. Sign up for the campus days and sit and look and see what SUM has to offer. Some people say, I can't go away to a Bible college. I can't afford. Some of you are married. You got children, and so I can't. I'm not going to be able to go away somewhere. Well, right here in downtown Fresno, and we're changing the model. The school is now advancing, and we have some new things that we're going to be announcing that's going to make it even easier and even more affordable. But regardless of the affordability, regardless of the easy and all that, what is God speaking to you and the calling of God that is on your life? So you see it there in the chat box. They've given you the information. Just email Cody and say, hey, I want to sign up for it. You got to sign up for it so that way he can give you all the links and answer all the questions that you have. And why don't you come along and go with us?
Here's what I love, though, is I love that this is the heartbeat of Cornerstone, but it's the heartbeat of our pastor to empower, to educate, to inform, to give experience, practical ministry into us, because that's what he's always pushing us in and pushing his staff in. We've just got to get involved. We've got to step out. We've got to do something. This is his heartbeat, and this is not just his heartbeat for now. This is the vision for down the road. Say, if we can educate, if we can be empowered by the Holy Spirit, a generation that can answer the call. A generation isn't an age thing. That's what I love. Like it's not just 18 to 24, but it's a generation. So it's shifted. There's been a group of people that have heard the voice of God, they answered the call or they didn't answer the call, and then there's another set of people, not ages, a group of people that have an opportunity to answer the call or not answer the call. What Pastor's talking to you is what he's constantly pushing out in vision is you've got an opportunity, regardless of what age you are, to be a part of the new generation, the generation of now and tomorrow, by answering the call of God. And so I appreciate that. We appreciate that. We talk about this almost every other morning or so about how much Pastor believes in us. He gives us opportunities. He gives us moments to step out of our calling. He gives us room to fail, and then he helps us grow. And I'm excited, not for now, but I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited for 5 years from now. I'm excited for the next wave of SUM graduates. I'm excited for the class of graduates that's 50 students to 100 students, because that means there's 50 to 100 students that are answering the call of God on their life and are impacting people. Can you speak about your heart for that next generation, and not next generation in terms of 18 to 24 or 12 to 18, which most people want to wrap it in, but just that next group. We've been in, as a church, we've around 26 years, you being around for 26 years, we've seen a large group of people answer the call, but we're believing there's a new wave of people to answer the call. Can you speak about it? We've talked about that a little bit. Can you speak about that?
So if we're not passing on to the next generation, then it will stop with this generation. And again, generational is not just necessarily the age of a person, but those new that are coming up that are recognizing God is doing something in their life. And that's the responsibility that we have, those who have been walking with the Lord, to pass that along, to enable them. But here's the thing, and I always go to Elijah and Elisha. You've got to be willing, Elisha's, to pick up the mantle of Elijah.
That's good.
If you're not willing to pick up the mantle, we can throw the mantle down all we want, but if you're not willing to pick it up, and I think there's a lot of mantles that have been laying on the ground.
Wow.
A lot of opportunity of what God is wanting to speak into somebody's life and to do something. You could be the next Elijah. Elisha did twice as many works. His prayer was, I want a double portion of what you gave to Elijah. I want it. And I think God is wanting you to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we're able to ask or think, according to that power that works within us, if we'll just pick up the mantle. And there's many of you that you say, well, look at all that God has done and that. Yes, but he wants to do more. This church is going to be bigger. This church is going to be more powerful. With the Spirit of God, it's going to be more effective. We're going to reach more people than we ever have before, because there's going to be a new generation that's going to pick up the mantle. Now, pick up the mantle means you got to be willing to serve. It goes all the way back to what we talked about with SUM, of apprenticeship, of mentors, of learning, of all that goes along with it. Everybody just, they just want to pick up the mantle and run with it. No, you're going to pick up the mantle and serve. It's the training period. It's the Paul to Timothy.
Yeah.
It's the Elijah to Elisha. It is the Moses to Joshua. And so those are the models that we follow after. And I believe in that probably now more than ever, because I've recognized that place in my life now, that this is my goal, and probably more of what I look at doing now is how can I prepare the next generation to do more than I have done, than our generation has done, to make this a church that will tear down, raise the gates of hell here within this city.
Man, it's so good.
Come on.
You get to be, when we talk about these generational gaps, I think at Cornerstone, you get to be part of the new wave.
Yeah.
You've been around for a year, one of the new staff, and God's doing some great things in your life and through Megan's life. What does picking up the mantle look like for you? Because he laid down a gauntlet when y'all had your first conversation. Here is what we want to see. Here's where, and it's not just vision, it's opportunity. It's what Elijah did to Elisha. Yeah. I lay this down. If you really want to go, we're going to run with horses like we talk about all the time. You better be ready to run with horses here. I'll tell you, y'all want to be around and work for Cornerstone. If that's on your list, or you better know, you better count the costs, because he's going to make you run with the horses. What does that look like for you, picking up the mantle, his mantle, the mantle of Cornerstone? What does that look like for you?
Well, for one, it's an honor. I mean, parents, if you're out there, we have a pastor who believes in youth ministry. I'm telling you, that's just not a common thing. He is about the next generation. So it's an honor to be able to serve. But it's also, you have to be willing, and you have to be willing to go through the pain. I cannot be where Pastor is overnight. Yeah. There is no way. I'm going to go through some growing pains that I've been in and continue to be in. And if you're not in pain, you're not growing. So that's the beauty of being under a mentor, is that if you're not pushing me to go further, well, then you're not ahead of me. You're equal, and there's nothing wrong with that. But this discipleship that you're talking about, these are my mentors right here. They've gone before me, they've gone ahead of me, and they've laid the foundation. So I get, as we always say, to reap a harvest I didn't sow, but at the same time, he's showing me how to sow, because someone's going to reap a harvest behind us. So we're learning and we're sowing at the same time. So I think it's a beautiful journey that you have to be sold out and committed to.
So I think some of you, while you're watching this, it's stirring in you. That's not a coincidence.
Come on.
You need to respond to that. You need to respond to that. And I think, again, the campus days is one of the easiest ways to do that. You can sneak on there, nobody's going to, you don't have to go nowhere. You just got to log in on that day. Now, we need to give you the information about that, but I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Or maybe you know somebody in your family that has a calling of God on their life, and they've said, well, I need to go to Bible college or whatever, and I can't afford it, and it's too far away, and all the excuses that the devil will give you, or make you settle for second best. Well, I'll just take this class. I'll just, don't settle for second best. Go down the deep end of the pool and jump in, like I say all the time. But God's stirring in your life. You know somebody that needs this. Tell them about it. Be used of God to say you need to get to the campus days for the School of Urban Mission, and give them Cody's email address. Again, he'll put it up there again for you. And email him and say, hey, tell me about this and which one of those times. So it's just, you got 3 opportunities on Saturday to do that. Let me switch gears real quick, because I don't want to go long tonight. And Sunday was Mother's Day. And I've often told my testimony about the impact that my mother made upon my life. Cindy alluded to it in her message on Sunday. But I just want y'all a couple of minutes. The impact that your mom had upon you in your walk with the Lord.
Wow. Man, I didn't know you were going to ask this question.
I know, and that's how we do it here.
Amen. Yes. Mentorship. But I would not be here if it wasn't for my mom. My mom had a bunch of candles lit and was calling on Jesus' name for my soul. I was running 100 miles in the wrong direction, and she hung in and she prayed, and a praying grandmother who weren't even born again yet. They were still in a Catholic church, but once they prayed me in, they saw the change and they became born again and filled with the Holy Ghost and speaking in tongues. So I would not be here without a mother who sacrificed everything for me. Yeah.
And that's the key. That's the goal that I think every mom. I know your mother personally. I've known her for quite some time now. I've known her all your life, and then some. Talk about the role of a mom.
Oh man, I'm trying to do this without getting emotional because these are heartfelt questions. My mom and I talk a lot about this. That I give my dad a lot of credit because I'm with him all the time. But it's both of my parents. I'm blessed. I know everybody's picture of family is not that, but I'm blessed to have two great parents, and my mother has been a backbone of my life as well. She has constantly reminded me of God's call in my life, of how gifted I am, no matter what situation that I've been in, no matter how defeated I feel, no matter what walls I've walked myself into, what situations I've gone into, my mother has constantly been the one to remind me of the gift of God in my life. And so without my mother, I wouldn't be in this position today, because there were many opportunities like there are in your life to go different roads, and not wrong roads, but just not the purposed road that God has for you. My mom has been the voice of, outside of the Holy Spirit, the voice of reason that said, no, God has called you for something more than this. And so I know that today. I love my mother. I put a post out about it on Mother's Day. I am a mama's boy, and I'm unashamed about that, because my mother has constantly brought me back to what's the voice of God in my life, what's the Spirit of God saying, and make sure that you're at peace with the decisions that you make. And so I'm so thankful, and I'll continue to have conversations with my mom about that, because I need those reminders.
Let me just say in closing to moms out there how important you are, the role that you take. We live in a society now where it seems that the role of a godly mama is sometimes not really put to the position that needs to be placed. You know, you see women, they're all the time trying to be younger, and they're trying to, you know, be their daughter's friend or their son's, you know, trying to be their peer. Don't be their peer. They don't need a peer. They need a mama.
Yeah.
And they need a praying mama.
That's real.
They need a Holy Ghost mama. They need somebody that will hang on to God for them, because again, my new book, Kids Are Idiots. They're going to do idiotic things, and it takes a mama. I mean, thank God for dads, don't misunderstand me, but I think you've kind of seen a little bit of the role here, but there's nothing like a mama's prayers. And I thank God for my mama, that I can still hear her pray. I can hear my grandmama pray. Just the power of that. Never underestimate that. Take that role, ladies. Take that role, mama, like you've never taken it before, especially in this day and age. And whether your kids are grown, whether they're still young, whether they're on fire for God, or whether they're knuckleheads, don't give up on them, because God hears your prayer, and somebody's got to battle for them, and nobody can battle for a child like the way a mama can in prayer. So I want to encourage mamas out there and just say, hang on. I know it was Mother's Day Sunday, but I didn't get to preach Sunday, so that's why I want to just tell you right now, mamas, how important you are and how much we need you. We talked about mentorship, and we think of men as mentors in that, but let me tell you, women, we need godly women that will teach young women, especially in this day and age. Not about fashion, not about fingernails, not about hairstyles, not about the current trends, but will teach them how to get a hold of God, how to be women of God. And so I want to encourage you women in that, All right, we've gone tonight. Let's see if we can sum this thing up. Final words?
You want to remind them of the schedule, what we've got going on?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
So tomorrow, we're right back here. Tomorrow, 7. And you're not preaching tomorrow?
No, there's a mama.
There's a mama preaching
There's
tomorrow.
a mama
so
coming to
Megan's
preach.
preaching
Yes,
tomorrow. Man,
yes.
y'all want to get on 7 o'clock tomorrow right here. Instagram Live is at 6:40. 6:40. Instagram Live for all of you. See Cornerstone Youth. So that's tomorrow. And then Thursday night, the Zoom.
Thursday night, we've got the Zoom call. And again, if you haven't got an invitation of that, you're part of the Cornerstone family. I'd love for you to be on that call. And so you need to email us and let us know you'd like to be on that call. We send out check your email. Now, if you've got the email, then you don't need to do
your
that.
spam, too. I know I saw some of that. Somebody said, well, I didn't get it. Well, check your spam, too, because sometimes if you haven't paid attention to our Cornerstone emails before, it might have gone to your spam. So I'm not calling you out on that one, but it might have gone to your spam. Check that one.
And so just email us at cornerstone@cornerstonefresno.com, cornerstone@cornerstonefresno.com, and just say, hey, I want to be a part of the Zoom call on Thursday night. Please add me in, and then we will send you an invitation right out. So that is Thursday night. This week, we didn't even talk about it, but Cornerstone Community Care, we've sent a semi-truckload of food across country to New Jersey. Yep. That's right. We're feeding people in New Jersey. It should already be there by now.
Yes.
But we are feeding people in New Jersey. Cornerstone, you're doing that. And so the team have been working hard. The following weekend, that's a week from Saturday, we will be in Parlier.
Yep.
We sent the team out. Pastor Rudy and his team went out and got that all ready as far as the logistics. And so that's a week from Saturday. I don't want to confuse you. Not this Saturday. A week from Saturday. And then Sunday, you're preaching Sunday.
What?
So you get a chance to hear Pastor Nate on Sunday, and then Sunday morning, 9/11, Sunday night, 6 o'clock, Cornerstone Espanol. You've been helping to host that because of your somewhat ability to speak.
Gloria a Dios. My mama. My mama taught me Spanish. Love you, mommy.
And Nate's going to be speaking in Spanish.
With a translator.
With a translator.
Like, I'm not speaking in Spanish.
I had the opportunity today, and he mentioned this, I had the opportunity today to be a guest on the Janet Medford national radio program, which heard across the nation. They taped that, and it will be aired tomorrow here in this market. It's on Bot Radio, 99.7. FM. It'll be at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and also it'll be heard nationwide at different times. Janet Medford program. And we talked about the reopening of the church. And so I was interviewed by the New York Times this last week about that. And we've been doing a lot of interviews, some local programs and now some national programs. And a matter of fact, Sunday night, I'll be hosting a national radio program. They've invited me to come in and host it and talk about the reopening of the church. So I'll be doing that on Sunday night. God is using us in a very special way. Is it 99.9? Somebody just put that. It may be 99.9 Bot Radio. It is. Okay, 99.9. So they played our press conference today, and then tomorrow they'll air the interview that I taped with them today. So tune in for that, or tell your friends to tune in about that. All right, all minds clear, as my grandpa used to say.
All minds
We're good
clear.
there. I hope you're having a great night. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock right. Until then, God bless you, and we'll see you next time when, hey, let's talk.